Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We're having a live stream simultaneously with YouTube. So I hope you guys will get a thing or two out of it and we'll have some fun together. So I'm here for the next maybe half an hour or so, or maybe more, to answer your questions in regards to thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, breakups, relationships, things that your psyche puts you through when you go through a breakup. And then we can also discuss OCD subsets such as HOCD and the components of the brain that are involved in that glitch, in that malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. And so we can have a discussion on these topics according to your questions. Now, we have some of our friends on YouTube joining us. Tio is here. Hello, Tio. And on TikTok, friends, we have many people showing up here. And let's see if I can have some of their names. I don't have names, it just shows Emil is here. All right, we got one name. The rest are just likes, and we don't see the names. So we have the rest of it. I don't understand really. It's my second time having a live stream here. Jesse is here. Jesse Lemon, thank you for that, and so many others, but I can't get their names. There is Eldon and Hash and Gui Johnson. All right. I hope I don't butcher names. My apologies. Let's see. So if you have any question, please write down. And Joe Hart is here. Tracy, Zaza, that's an interesting name. And Monix, wonderful. So I wait for the first question so we can, whether it's from YouTube or from TikTok, so we'll go on. And let me guys, let me know if you can hear me well and see me well. If you don't see me, I'll make an appointment for you with the ophthalmologist. And if you don't hear me, well, ear, nose, and throat, I guess, would be the right one. But in the meantime, let me know if you can see and hear me. And we have OAND, ADHD, says assist joins. All right. Emil is still here. But we have no questions, right? All right. We just have people joining. Or maybe I'm doing something wrong here. And so we're still waiting for the first question. While I wait for your first question, why don't I just get my tea and then I'll at least situate myself. All right, I'm back, and I hope you guys have your beverage of your choice with you. And so, two new messages. All right, let's look at the messages. I don't see a message here. It's just joins. Larry is here, but I don't see the questions. Am I doing something wrong here, or there's no questions? Everybody is happy. no, no questions. All right, then I guess we'll just keep waiting, I guess. So, guys, remember this live stream is not about me lecturing, is about introducing that the topics that we talk about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. We talk about relationships, breakups, what the inner movement of your psyche is when you go through a breakup, how you can move out of it, and how to understand your feelings in regards to what has upset you and what has caused the breakup, and how to move on and attend to your duties and responsibilities as best as you can and why. And then we also have topic of OCD and OCD subsets, which we discussed about the components of the brain involved in this glitch, in this malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. And we talk about the roots of OCD and other subsets of OCD, such as HOCD and whatnot, and we'll discuss that. Um, so let's see again. Do we have any questions? Could you guys let me know if I'm doing something wrong here or we have no questions? The ones who can hear me and see me, please, and see no questions like I don't see it. Put a one if you won't, if you don't mind. And the ones who actually think I'm doing something wrong, you put a two, so I know what the heck is going on here. So you can share the live to other friends, and you can like the live, and so at least it'll be generating more interest, and so we can see. Or maybe I should be here to see the questions. No, no, there are no questions. They're just names. So many people have joined, and I'm delighted that none of you have a question. That means everyone is on the balance, and and my YouTube friends are also just watching as if there's something is supposed to happen. Nothing will happen unless you guys ask a question. So might as well. I'll have my tea, and eventually we say good night or good day. In about an hour, I have to go and see my mom in care center, so I have that much time to share. And if you guys have any particular questions about breakups, relationships, OCD and OCD subsets such as HOCD and whatnot, regarding what happens, what components of the brains are involved, and we talk about the four steps of Dr. Schwartz and the neuroscientist experiments about that you're not the brain and brain is not you. Or if you have questions about your breakups, recent breakups or old breakups, and things that you need to resolve or solve or talk about, then we can do that. And you can always know that I have a site called mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com, where you can make an appointment with me either on group session or individually one-on-one on Skype, and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on this on Skype. So our YouTube friends, I'd like to hear from you guys. You guys always have lots of questions. What happens today? Is it the wrong time of the day? And again, Lori, if you have any question, fire up. And Shelly, the same. Jit Face, I don't know what that is. Patricia, you as well. If you guys have any questions, write it up. Mitch, Debos, and Sydney, or Jaden, I hope I'm not butchering anyone's name. Lindsay, Nick, and Popak have joined. Rose have joined. Remember, guys, this is not a lecture live stream. It's about your questions. It's about you. So I have one question from India. It says 21 male India. It says, on rare instances during my teenage years, I indulge in minor homosexual activities on rare instance. It must likely was a result of some childhood exploitation as I'm heterosexual. Yeah, well, at childhood, you have no idea what things are. You have questions, and there are no real answers there until time passes, and you may do some things that later on you may find it was silly or not in line with your values, and that's how childhood goes. So don't worry about it. Move on. It says we have Valence says, thanks for all your videos. You're quite welcome. Yeah, we have about 3,000 videos on the channel, on YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called The One Point, THE, next word ONE, next word point, The One Point. We have over 3,000 videos discussing breakups, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, relationships, OCD, OCD subsets, HOCD, and the rest of them. And we have no questions from TikTok friends here yet. And we are hoping to have one. I am brokenhearted. You guys are so kind to me in all my videos, but you don't have a question here. Then what are you doing here? I'm not that good looking. So let's see, we have other questions here from Valance says, I really appreciate your help. You're quite welcome anytime, dear. And all my videos are um, detailed oriented and they discuss the topics. There's no teasers in my channel. It's not like you can go in and see some videos and then he wants to sell you something. It's actually discussing that topic. And there's so many videos that you can choose from. Just go into my search engine in the YouTube um, platform and just type in a word that concerns you in regards to your questions, and you'll see a number of videos. And there are playlists as well, but there's so many videos that I haven't really included in playlists. So just write a topic, and then you'll see how many videos show up. 8 new messages. All right, where are the message? Ah, there we go. Lori says, I don't have any questions at the moment. Was just scrolling through that I would listen. Oh, all right. But Lori, I don't do a lecture. I used to do that when I was doing a live stream for this Facebook channel. They had over 5 million subscribers. And so they had asked me to do a Saturday morning thing for them. So we did that for a year or so. And then the page was suspended because of some copyright of some pictures they had put on. So then I moved that to my own Facebook, and we had lots of live streams. Then eventually I thought I wanted to make it a little bit more available. So we went on YouTube. I learned how to do YouTube live streams, which we've been having YouTube live stream for a long time, and very happily done through that. Now, TikTok shown me that they're very interested in my channel. In a very short time, I have something like, I don't know, 1,500 subscribers, and I've got many short videos and long videos, which I make specifically for TikTok, or I take from my YouTube channel and size it for there, and that's how we're going through. And Lori says, I check out your YouTube videos. Please go ahead, and says, follow the live creator. I appreciate that very much. And if you guys go through the titles of the videos, clips that I've put on TikTok, you'll see that they're quite interesting, some of them at least. And I'm unanimous on that. And biased. There's George here. George says, hello, sir. Can you tell me what is the difference between repressed homosexuality and HOCD? HOCD is a brain glitch. It's the HOCD is part of the family of OCD, and OCD, French call it the doubting disease. Of course, they don't say it that way. They say the doubting disease. So they have a little accent there. So basically, HOCD is when brain loses its functionality on the caudate nucleus in midbrain basal ganglia, which is responsible to shut down the intrusive thoughts. Because everybody, all 8 billion of us in the world, have intrusive thoughts. We all have one kind of a OCD, one kind or another. And intrusive thoughts is in the brains of every human, because every human being's brain psyche is the same. Um, this is a new thing to us, this psyche that we have. We didn't have this until 40,000 years ago. So there was a me before this brain was bestowed upon my head. So therefore, there is a difference between me and the brain. You're not the brain, and brain is not you. So when the brain starts coming up with these intrusive thoughts, these are not you. These are brains making thoughts using its own apparatus to make thoughts. So you have to be aware of it and treat it as a glitch. And often these intrusive thoughts, which every 8 billion of us have it, is all the time is dealt with by this lever in midbrain basal ganglia caudate nucleus. When that stops functioning properly, then these intrusive thoughts hover. And prefrontal cortex says, well, why is it hovering? I mean, that thing is here and it doesn't go away because it thinks it has to be connected to some kind of a emotional urgent signal, danger signal that was sent by amygdala. But prefrontal cortex says, I have to find a name for it. So what can I give it? So it attaches to your sexuality because it's the most important thing that you want to protect. So then, because the caudate nucleus is not doing its job to shutting down the intrusive thoughts, while it's hovering because of all these things that we talked about, the malfunctions, you think it must mean something. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. But it's just part of the malfunction of this signaling system of the brain, and it has nothing to do with you. Now, the other part, the repressed homosexuality, is when someone was born homosexual and is homosexual, but it's just because of the society and other things that he's concerned or she's concerned of, is not really entertaining it or allowing it to be him or herself. So your awareness is what you are, not your thoughts or intrusive thoughts that show up in the screen of your head. You are the awareness brain. You use the brain apparatus to do things for yourself in life, accomplish things, figure out things, calculate things, and make a better life for yourself using this apparatus. Brain itself also uses its own apparatus to make thoughts. That's the job of this organ. Makes 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. And none of them are relevant to you. And most of them you don't notice because automatically they're shut down since they're not in line with your values. But when it malfunctions, you think it must mean something about you. Those are intrusive thoughts. Those are suggestions that is being connected to amygdala, your anxiety, and so on. And it's hitting your most important things that you want to protect, your sexuality. That's HOCD. The rest of it is something that is totally different. And as you said, what it is. Elia, in a nutshell, it's a long discussion, but that's what Lori says. I don't have. Oh, there we said that one. So let's see if there's any other questions here. Well, it's delightful that all my TikTok friends are all doing good. No questions here. They're just enjoying the show. I don't know what show am I really putting up here. Let's see what we have from George here. And George says, so if a person has a repressed homosexuality, he kind of know in early ages. So it doesn't matter. It's not necessarily early ages or not. You could be just thinking that you are this or you're not that or you're this other one. But over time, you become in line with your awareness and you'll see, well, that is actually what it is for you or not. So it's not necessarily has to be early age or you would know it early age or not. No, many of us going through our childhood may find affections or affinity or interest towards our friend who's the same gender, but that's a childhood that you are looking for emotions and security, and that is not a sexual interest. That is a way for you to feel safe as far as having a friend who supports you in a way and his emotions or her emotions are in line with yours, and it gives you a little cocoon versus the things that are unknown in the world and challenging to you at that age. So that's a normal feeling of psychological security. But later on, you may think it was a certain kind of a sexual interest. It's not. It's just a human interest. And it's perfectly okay for you to like another same gender. It doesn't mean that you're homosexual or your sexuality is changed, your inclination is changed. But that is a whole different topic. When you grow up and you actually act on these feelings, then that would be a different topic. 7 new messages. Now, Dr. Jack says, Dr. Jack, you must have another question before this because It says I'm looking for the truth. Okay. I don't really understand the question, Dr. Jack. All right. I don't see a question really here. Sheila has joined. Thank you for that. Guys, remember, if there's no question, I can't, I won't be, you know, having a comic show. So if you like to, all right. Jack says the rope in gym class sometimes gave that feeling. What feeling, Jack? What are you talking about? If you would kindly elaborate. Some comments in live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Well, you don't have to do that. We can do it ourselves. Where is the filter? Maybe those are the questions. If you guys have asked a question that is actually a question and it's been filtered by the system, just change the words of it so we can see it. All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, Stephen is here. Stephen Mail 43 LA. This is what the protocol we have on YouTube. Anyone who joins us gives us three codes: M for male, F for female, just signifies their orientation so I know how to address them. And then the age, 43 in this case, and then the location, LA, Los Angeles, or wherever it is in the world. And Stephen says, thanks for those emails, Meron. You're quite welcome. I'm glad that you got them and listened to them. Volan says, when the brain is sending unwanted words or images during an activity with other people, I struggle because I try to shut down those thoughts and try to not believe them, but sometimes it is hard. Well, that's why you shouldn't try to shut them down. You should simply understand that this is the production of the brain. Brain's job is to make thoughts, and the thoughts that the brain makes is not necessarily in line with your values. Understanding that, then it wouldn't bother you to try to correct it, stop it, um, disappear it, or anything like that. You just say, okay, well, it's like you're walking in the street and people around you have all kinds of thoughts. Are you going to stop their thoughts because they're thinking about it? No, because they're irrelevant to you. Now, brain happens to be mounted on your head, but it's also not you like other people around. It has its own glitches and thoughts and whatever it conjures up. The same way you treat the other people, you treat the brain because it's not in line with your values. So you just pass by. You may be passing by and a group are talking, saying things that you don't want to hear, or it's not in line with your values. So you hear them, you ignore them, you pass by. You recognize what they said, but you don't have to make any reactions to it. It's what and how they their values and how their thinking is. You ignore, you pass by. Brain too makes 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. You don't have time to analyze every one of them, see if it's pertaining you or not. Why is it here? All these questions are unnecessary. All what is necessary is to recognize that it is a topic irrelevant to you or you're not interested, and you move on. But you recognize what it is, make a recognition. This is intrusive thought, it's not me. And then you move on. It's no different than, let's say, you're walking in the street, you see something from the distance, a little bit brownish or dark color and a little bit long and thick on the corner of the street, and then you walk closer, it becomes more apparent, maybe even the smell. So you figure out it's a dog poo. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to pass by, or you're going to go and just get a stick and see how it is. What kind of a dog was it? What did it eat? Why is it here? Why is it so soft? No, you just recognize and leave it and go because it's not of your interest once you recognize. So recognize the intrusive thought. Ah, that's intrusive thought. I'm not interested. Whatever the topic is, Your awareness and your values decide that you're interested or not interested in this thought. Is it going to do something productive for you or not? Is it useful or not? When you decide that in a moment, then you are free to go and ignore it. You don't need to stop it. You can't stop brain's thoughts. Brain can make thoughts like millions of other people are making thoughts all around the world. You don't worry about them. Same thing, but it happens to be on the screen of your head. So it could be bothersome. That's why you use Dr. Schwartz's fourth step to rewire your brain, because this is a result of caudate nucleus not functioning well, which is responsible to shut down the intrusive thoughts. When the intrusive thoughts are not shut down, you have a question: why is it not disappearing? Why is it not going away? So it must mean something. No, it just means there's a glitch, there's a malfunction. So that's why you simply use the four steps of Dr. Schwartz. You relabel the suggestion. For example, uh, let's say you feel anxious. Now, your first responsibility toward this intrusive thought or this feeling, in this case, a feeling, you say, anxiety, I'm feeling nervous, something. So you interpret it. You say, I'm feeling anxiety now. So you bring it out, you relabel it. You relabel what the brain is suggesting to what you can understand it. I'm feeling anxiety now. Now it's clear what this feeling is for you. And then you reframe it. Is there something wrong? Or I'm feeling something wrong? There's nothing wrong, really. I'm feeling something wrong. Now, there might be something wrong, but it's not exactly what you think it is or what it appears to be. So, again, you clarify. First, I'm feeling anxiety now. So, you clarify this feeling is something that has a name. And then you say, is there something wrong? Or I'm feeling something wrong. So, again, you clarify that it's some kind of a illusion or some kind of a feeling. There's really nothing wrong that I can pinpoint it. So, you feel a bit relaxed. And once you have recognized this is an intrusive thought, this is a feeling that is not really real, it's just making you to react to some feeling that is unknown, but it's not really happening, anything happening. So you're now clarified what this is. It's time for you now change your focus from this, which is doing nothing for you anymore, to something positive, such as drink a cup of tea, listen to music, take a walk, talk to a friend. And quickly the brain realizes that you don't pay attention to these signals or these kind of interactions. And after a while, when you do these three steps, the brain reevaluates what this whole scenario was. And after a while, all these three steps, plus the fourth step, the revalue, happens automatically as soon as the intrusive thought shows up, because you have constantly treated the intrusive thought in the same way we talked about, and it has created a new routine for response to these sort of things. And brain learns that, rewires itself. So your idea is simply going to take a hold in autonomic way, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. There are two new messages here in TikTok. Ah, Jack says the first feelings you spoke of, the rope in the gym gives me. Okay, very good. All right. I think these are intrusive thoughts in your case as well, but you can be the judge of that. You will know yourself. Now we have. mm, Steven says, I'm feeling better and socializing more now rather than waste time like I have for the past 8 months. Yes, you did. After a breakup, it's very kind of cumbersome and time consuming, energy soaking, and sucking or draining. And the sooner you be able to see there are opportunities in the world far bigger than your consciousness have limited the world into one collective small fragment of this whole universe, then you become more clear that there's so much availability and hope and things that you can accomplish, and you will move on. But if you keep staying and focusing on that one relationship was the whole entirety of the experience of relationship in the world, and then you're creating an untrue statement and state of your being, and you get stuck in there because you think that's all there was and there can never be anything better. And these are OCD thoughts because you believe your thoughts. The problem with OCD, which hits into breakups as well, is when you think what the thought has appeared is correct. You believe the thoughts instead of using your judgment to judge the thought that the brain comes up with. You believe whatever comes up with just because the brain is mounted in your head and is part of your physical body, and you think, well, then it must have credibility. It doesn't. It just happens to be there. But it's an organ, just like any other organ that malfunctions, like your liver or kidney or whatever it is. Brain also malfunctions. If you have a diarrhea, you don't say, well, diarrhea is my natural state. No, you say, something wrong. Let me fix it. You recognize that the organ is having something wrong with it. It needs to be repaired. So I don't know, you have rice and yogurt or Imodium or whatever, you fix it. Now, when it comes to brain, whatever garbage it spills out, you guys believe it as if it's the deity of you. No, it's an organ. It fucks up. And so you got to figure that out. And you help the brain to rewire itself to a default setting. And we have, all right, Jules is here. Valence says, thank you. You're quite welcome. Jules says, hi, sir. Big fan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Jules says, what is the best way to reduce frustration and upset due to grief, life stress? Well, the number one thing that you can recognize in grief, meaning you lost someone. Are you talking about having lost a member of the family or someone important to you? Or are you talking about life stress? Or if it's life stress, well, this is the venue we're living in. You expect life to be known to you so you won't have stress. We human beings are experts in having lived in uncertainty. If you look at your childhood, ever since you were born, everything has been uncertain for you. Nothing was known to you before it happened, almost nothing. And you managed them all from childhood to this age. Everything that happened to us has been uncertain. We didn't know. And everything that we went through has been uncertain. Am I going to get um, graduation thing, diploma in university or in high school? We didn't know. Is this girl going to stay with me? I don't know. Is she going to leave me? I don't know. Am I going to get a job? I don't know. Do I will have money for the rent next month? I really don't know. Everything was uncertain, but yet we are master of going through life with uncertainty. But now suddenly we want certainty. And that's where the suffering starts because it is not possible to be certain about anything. So we got to learn how to live with uncertainty and become master as it was naturally we have been, but we never noticed it. Now we're questioning it and say, can I? Well, you've been doing it all your life. So there is no reason for you to be frustrated to think that I'm frustrated because this is the way that it shouldn't be. Well, everything else has always been frustrating in our life and we handled it. Think about it. Today, the bank does something stupid that is not realistic, logical, but it's to their benefit and they have the power. They do it, they close your account, they send collections after you. Nothing you can control. It's uncertain and you got to deal with it, right? Your job, you don't know tomorrow you're going to be fired or hired. Suddenly a government comes along and says you got to have inoculation because we say so, even though there's so many talks about it that is not safe. Say it doesn't matter, you got to do it, otherwise there are consequences. And then later on shit hits the fan and they see, oh, these was fake, whatnot. What do? You got to make decisions, but you didn't know this is going to come up. 8 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't know our economy would be in the shit that it is today, but it is. So we got to figure out what to do. So If you look at your life, no matter what country you're living in, you've always lived in uncertainty and you were not frustrated. You dealt with it. You're a master. Have confidence. So, and understand that this is what this life is all about. Nothing is going to be piece of cake here. While you can find moments of solace and happiness and contentment and safety, and you're striving for that, those little moments. Focus on the little moments rather than some big, certain way of being completely surrounded with all good things for a long time. Everything in this life is impermanent. Suffering starts when you try to turn impermanent to permanent. Let's say you take a bite of an apple. You say, "Ah, nice, I love it," and you that was a joy. That was a wonderful event. But then you say, I want this every day. And then when you say, I want this every day, you worry about what if I might not have it every day? Then suffering starts because you're trying to turn something from impermanent, a bite in the apple. Thank you very much. It was lovely, nice. Thank you. But you want more and you want it to be always. Now you're creating a little bit of trouble for you. So instead of thinking about, I can only be relaxed and not grief and not be stressed if everything is the way I want it to be, well, we're not living that kind of life. Everything is messed up in this world. So get up in the morning and says, everything is shitty, so I'm gonna do whatever I can. That's it. Rather than say, oh, I expected everything to be perfect. Don't expect that. It puts you in a sleepy mode. It's like the soldiers who are sleeping and then the enemy attacks and they didn't know when it is. So you always expect something might happen. And if it did, I'll deal with it. But I'm not going to worry about it now. Life has lots of things happening in it, and you deal with it as you have always done. So stop being frustrated, thinking that you're frustrated because you expect it to be without any incident. That would be perfect. Me too. I like that. But it doesn't really happen that way. So you do your best, and that's all you can expect. And whatever comes along, you do with your wisdom and you try to deal with it as much as best you can. Why is only one person typing? Or typing where? Nobody's typing anything. I can only see Jack with few comments, but nobody else having a question on TikTok. Everybody listening here. We got over 150 people here, but nobody's having a question. Uh, uh, but we have much less people on YouTube, but there's all so many questions. I wonder. Steven says, what is it? Steven says, do you think I was right by not chasing her or reaching out when she broke up with me? I was also thinking if when she reached out those three separate times, I thought maybe those were opportunities to fix it. But like you said, she was probably just wanting my attention. But when I think of her actions, I don't want her. Listen, you're still sucking up to her shoes, to the shoes of someone who was not loyal to you. She went out and cheated on you. Women don't respect a man who takes them back after they have cheated. Women do not respect you if once they have broken the boundaries and you take them back. They may be feeling happy and give you lots of love and all that, but in their mind, they're not respecting you. They're looking for another opportunity to leave you, to show you that I don't have to suck up to you, I don't have to come back to you, I can do whatever I want. So either you have boundaries or not. Women respect a man who has boundaries. But if you're going to roll over just because you want to get some, that's not the woman that you're going to respect you and want to show you the best of her side. So this whole business that you still, after 8 months, coming back having these questions, it motivates me to get the ugly stick and beat the crap out of your head because you don't seem to understand your own worth of value. You're still seeking your value in her brush. You're allowing her to draw your value rather than you draw your value based on your principles. If you have no principles, every girl in the world will shit on your head and you'll still waiting for more. unless you respect yourself, nobody else will. So the fact that it's broken up is your lucky day. The fact that it gives you a chance to meet all these amazing other women out there with proper values and morals, that's amazingly a good fortune. Universe loved you to get this woman out of your way because you didn't have the power to get her out of your life. She was basically running the show and still going out and cheating and coming back. And then that reach out bullshit is just the way she puts you on guilt and make you feel like so she can have you around to feel good about it. These are narcissistic women and you should not have anything to do with them. So stop that nonsense and move on to your next chapter of life. Otherwise, I would get on a plane, come to LA and beat the crap out of you and, of course, and then go back. And I'll charge you for it. And Jules says, yes, very true. We'll try to focus on living in the moment. Thanks so much. You're quite welcome, Jules. Now, again, we don't have any questions from TikTok. Why is it only Jack can write something? Nobody else can, or nobody else has a question. If you guys can you guys just write something like one or two so I can see that your typing comes in so I would know that actually there are no questions rather than there are questions but I can't see them? Could everyone just write a number, one, two, whatever, just something, so we can test this, if you will? My TikTok friends, could you please do that? Empress joined. Empress, you just joined, so you must still be here. Could you kindly type in one or two? Just type a word. I want to see if these words or questions come through or not, because we're having lots of questions from our YouTube friends, which we're running simultaneous live stream, but we have no questions from over about 150 people on TikTok, and that's unusual. Other than Jack here, that has written some comments, has come through. So could you guys do that for me so we know that actually any word that is typed comes through? Tofat actually did write some. Says, why is only one person typing? So that means it does come through. Could you guys do that for me? Can I see, like, I can see the coffee or teacups. So that means it does come through. Anyhow, guys, please do type something. I want to see. Says opinion on Vietnamese people. I have no opinion. Vietnamese people are like any other people. I don't have any specific on it. And says, and storing them in confined. Oh, I see. Well, I need to know a little bit more about that because I'm not necessarily quite sure if you're talking about any human being to be stored in a confined spaces, or you're talking about Vietnamese to be that, or is it about escaping from a country or a certain kind of a, uh, you know, uh, coyote escape or something? I don't understand exactly the question, but that is not something for me to have an opinion. Of course, I'm against any kind of a situation where a human being is confined. A free human being, innocent human being, is confined to being abused in any kind of shape or form. So otherwise, I'm not really sure what the topic is. So we have White's Words Warrior here. Says, why would a girl that was seriously in love with me betray and dump me cold after 3 years? End of end of what? Limerence? Dismissive? Avoidant? She makes up all kinds of excuses and paints me as the bad one. Why would it have to be on you? That's on her. That's the need that she has because she doesn't find herself valued in her own mind, and she has created an image of herself in her own mind that image is not coinciding to her actuality in life. And she's seeing herself as that image that she has created of herself in her own mind, and she feels that image worth more and needs to be treated in certain way. I don't know, golden uh, carriage to come and take her, and trips and wine and dine and all that. That's what she thinks that image worth. Therefore, that image has become more important to her than herself. She's trying to up the situation for that image because she thinks she's that image. Therefore, she's not realistic to see that this is the life I have, this is what I can offer, this is how I my expertise, my emotional level, my needs, and my looks and fitness and education and whatever I bring to the table is, and that's the person I like because his values and so on and so forth. She's going after material, so she's created this image. Now she's trying to match material of life to this image, and none of them is going to. So eventually, she may land on that particular situation that she's looking for, but it's going to fall apart because she can't match up herself to that image, and therefore that whole relationship will fall apart after a short while. She can't keep acting like the image. She'll end up being herself, and herself is not that image. So that's not on you. That's on some fictitious um, scenario that she has created, and she's trying to fulfill that need of that fictitious character. So you stay best to stay away from her. She's gone out of her, reality. And White Word says she was always obsessed about me and did everything for me. Yeah, well, she did that until she figured that that's doing things for you doesn't elevate her, and therefore now she thinks she can elevate herself by following certain kind of other things that might make her feel valuable. Most people think their value comes from outside, other people's affirmation, things that they could own, a car, a handbag, shoes, clothes, money, while all that really is volatile, and the real value comes from their within, their understanding of their psyche, their understanding of the universal opportunity and the life and challenges and how to deal with it and all these other things that we go through. When they are trying to look for a shortcut, then they look elsewhere in order to have that value ready made to attach to it. So they attach to a Louis Vuitton handbag because they say, okay, this value of this is high. If I have it, my value will go high. So they're looking for these sort of things to bring their value up because they're incapable of feeling valuable with who they are. So they're trying to attach themselves with circumstances or the people who can give them things or offer them things. So prove to them that, oh, I'm worthy because these material things are given to me, which means I'm worthy. But that is just based on the need of that person, what they want to use her for, and they're paying for it. It's not necessarily means that she's becoming more valuable. All right. Now, all right. Again, we don't have any questions from our TikTok friends. Keep saying some comments in this live were filtered. I don't want it to be filtered. What the bloody thing is going on? Who's the bloody TikTok to filter comments? I don't want you to decide anything. Idiots. Everybody is now deciding for community guidelines. All right. Now, what else do we have here? Well, guys, it's been 49 minutes. I'll be here another 10 minutes, and then I got to mosey on out and visit my mom at the care center, which I do that every day. So if you have any questions, fire it up. And I'm sorry on the TikTok people that either you're not sending any questions or the words being used is not in line with the damn community guideline of this apparatus. Otherwise, I'd be grateful if I could have. Anyhow, all your TikTok friends, you can join my channel, YouTube, The One Point, THE, next word ONE, next word point, POINT. That would be my channel. You can find over 3,000 videos there in regards to thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, relationship breakups, OCD subsets, HOCD, and whatnot. And you can always go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. And make an appointment for a Skype chat and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Or you can join one of the group sessions that we have so you can enjoy the questions and answers of others and your own. And there will be up to 10 people in a session. And then we'll discuss whatever it is on your mind that we'll discuss. And at the time for that, if it's not one-on-one, which one-on-one is 1 hour, and often I go more than 1 hour, depending on our discussion. But the time for the group session would be at least 2 to 3 hours, depending on how many people show up, maximum 10 people. So, having said that, we have Pat Santos says, from my 28, how you deal, what? With the feeling of, I don't understand those abbreviations. If you kindly let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from, and the question clearly, Pat, I'd appreciate that. It looks like that my TikTok friends don't even maybe hear me either, because I've asked if you would kindly um, put a number or a word, all of you, so I know if you can actually type in here and I can see your questions. And we're going to see if these guys are being all censored or not. Could you just everyone put a word, a number, something that I could see your typings will come through, not just the few that have come through, because it's kind of unlikely that we have 150 people here and there's no questions. But we have much less number on YouTube and we've got umpteen number of questions. The Lemon says, good day. I recently messaged a girl and asked her out, but she politely rejected me in a very subtle way. Should I keep pursuing her or leave her be? I think she's incredible. Well, she's only incredible if she also wants to be with you. Why would you think that you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? If she is not interested, that cannot be an incredible person for you. One of the first priorities for someone to be incredible to you is that she also wants to be with you. There's no value if she doesn't want to be with you. Okay, you can admire her, but what for? So that's really lust. It's not that she's incredible. What do you know about her? You haven't even gone out with her. You don't know her much. How could she be incredible? She's maybe good looking. That's all. Okay, I understand that. But if she doesn't want to go out, a man's job is always to protect women and children, even from your own desire. So you like her, fine. She doesn't want to be associated with you, or she doesn't want to go out with you. Respect that. Move on. There's so many other amazing women better than this one. At this point in time in your life, you feel she's this and that and all that. But you dynamically are changing your consciousness and your values. And then a little bit later on, you see your values are interested in somebody with a higher quality and different quality. And you'll say, why was I so hung up on this one? So see that through now and don't suffer. And Pat says, feeling a fear of missing out. Missing out in what? What is the definition of life for you that you think you're missing out? You don't have enough girlfriends? Or I don't know your gender. This is why I want you guys to let me know about your gender first. Gender, age, which city you're coming from. The city will give me a little bit of a background on your, cultural values, supposedly. And the gender tells me how, if you're a man, woman, and how can I address you. And then the age will tell me where in life you are, so I can again make it appropriate, the responses. So when you say feeling a fear of missing out, well, everything in life that you love and like, there's a fear behind it of not having it and missing it. So you love life, great. And naturally, like anything else, you have a fear of missing out. But missing out what? Define the value of your life and the things that are interesting to your life. Then you can be fearful of missing out. What is missing out? Parties? More sex? Well, I can understand that. But after a while, all your values changes and you'll say the things that you were fearful to miss out, it's not something that you would actually pursue at this age. So you're not missing out anything. This, what you're going through, is actually the life that you're supposed to experience. You're not missing out anything. This feeling of fear of missing out is also the same. Says lots of girlfriends. Well, lots of girlfriends. How many girlfriends do you want to have? You will have. How old are you? You see, you're making it a little bit difficult. Give me your age properly so I know. What are you, 28? From my 28, I see. Okay, give me those information if you will, so I can at least know enough. Pat, is it your first time here? Maybe that's why you don't know the protocol. There are three things I need before a question: age, gender, where you're tuning in from. That gives me a lot to go by. So the girlfriends, if it happens, it happens. You can't force to have a girlfriend. So if it comes along, it comes along. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And eventually it does, whether you want it or not. So you continue your life, build your life on your goals and things you want to accomplish. And those opportunities will introduce themselves when the time is right. And so no worry about that. Don't rush things, you know, can't rush it. All right, guys. I still don't have any questions from TikTok. Again, nobody wrote anything as I asked. I don't know, maybe if there's nobody here, maybe it just looks like there are people there. Because I would like to ask all my TikTok friends here to write a word, any word, number, word, so I can see your questions or your typing will come through and I can see it. Because we have had no real question other than two or three comments. Since an hour ago when we opened, we have about 150 people here. And by the way, why don't you like the conversation here? I've got zero heart here. Let us be circulating, and that always helps the algorithm when you have, likes on this thing. Metro Semeniuk. What? Okay, I butchered the name there. Welcome. Um, White Word Warrior says, "How can I avoid another woman that is super sweet and warm and turns cold and cheats after years?" Just some months ago, we wanted children. Crazy. Well, some women are like that. They are not officially recognized as bipolar, but they are because of depending on their mood of the day, they change 180 degrees. And that's not on you. And when you stumble on some kind of relationship with that kind of woman, you quickly turn around 180-degree and move away because it'll never end well. They seem to have certain needs and they're oblivious to the commitment to the relationship and they change it as they wish. And those kind of people, you never want to have a relationship. So it's your blessing day that you found this out just recently, instead of having gone through another few years, have children with her, and then she flips out. So it's best to lengthen your courting time for a few years to know how she's going to change or not, how patient she is for things to happen, or she's looking for things, and if they don't arrive, she wants to switch to another man and somewhere else, jump ships. These things will show themselves in 2 3 years of courting before any kind of a marriage or children. So you lucked out. This happened. She showed her true self that you can't rely on this relationship, and that's your blessed day. So go and count your stars and move on and find a better possibilities. Uh, Again, my TikTok friends don't ignore me. They don't just ignore me. They they just ignore me. They don't write a word or a number so I can see their comments come through or not. So in that way, I don't know what to do really. And I see no hearts, no likes, so I'm puzzled. My channel actually gets lots of interest. In just the recent videos, we had like 21,000 views in about a few days, and so on. But right here, I've got no questions and no words. Please type a word, any word. I just want to see if you guys, when you type, I can see your typing or your questions. I see no questions. And the questions that have come through, maybe it says TikTok has erased them. So some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community experience. What do you mean protect the community experience? What? Protect what? People have their own brains. What are you protecting? Jesus, nobody can be free and talk anything anymore. If it's obnoxious, I can deal with it myself. I don't need you to cut it off. All right. One last time. TikTok friends, could you please bloody write something, a word of some kind? To build a safe community, we will limit the number of viewers in your live videos before you meet the requirements. What the hell are you talking about? I've got over 1,500 subscribers in a few weeks. I don't know what's wrong with this thingy. Guys, I'm sorry, I don't understand how the hell this works. Tunde is here, and I don't know what that means. Okay. All right, guys, I think it's time for me to mosey on out and to go do other things because I can't get any questions from TikTok. And my questions on YouTube have been all answered. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here. Give me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. And remember, I have a site, mind.seekstruth.com, for one-on-one conversation on Skype. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.